just want to live my life to the fullest. Yeah, mama, yeah. Some people them are yeah, some people them are fine, but some people fly away for Nigeria when we there. Some people face the pain, some people them are jack, but some people them are stay. Oh yeah, pariwo, what's all la dariwo. Oh yeah, pariwo, what's all la dawo. In the time of Mary's laser, they know we slice us. They know best tell us what to do. They know we
nowadays I'm on my gangster shit. With my gangster flow. I thought you were a tough guy. Where'd your gangster go? I guess life took a motherfucking gangster toll. But we survived that, so welcome to the gangster folk. I've had gangster classes, I took gangster notes, and I still got struck by some gangster votes. But I became the thunder from the blunder with gangster boats. Revenge dressed in an all-black gangster coat, with some men at the back yelling gangster quotes. I'm dangerous now. When the world wouldn't let peace reign, they cut you till you open and you start to bleed rain. And you start to bleed rain. So many fake people, many things closing in my life, frozen. I gotta see if they are really your shit, if they are really your shit. I gotta see if they are really your shit, if they are really your shit. I just want to live.
Adura album. Oh yeah, album. Bust down, bisa album. I'm a logo dial.
What they gonna say?
Cash money, I'm a yummy job. Young Soki, I'm a no day down. Kali, miracle, they go. Up, past night, my jet down. Sometimes me, I pray to the Lord. That will be done in my life, so they go. Many things I know it all. Money fits me, I don't wanna be poor. I'm a young, I know me, when they go back with me. They back on my body like foodie. I just want to pay for me, send you my mom, some saburi. I can't do me, show my body. I got singing, she like you, baby. Adura album. Oh yeah, album. Bust down, bisa album. I'm a logo dial. Adura album. Oh yeah, album. Bust down, bisa album. I'm a logo dial. I'm a logo dial.
When the airwaves in your market become more and more crowded. It's time to break it open and really stand out. Broken Air is here.
On Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
Put your lighters up, yes my time is now. Go tell the world that my time is now. Where I'm coming from, I'm blessed with a crown. Heaven knows they can't stop me now. Put your lighters up for the ones you love. Let them know it's a blessing from above. Put your lighters up for the ones you lost. Wipe your tears, yes in God we trust. Put your lighters up, 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 put your lighters up. I'll be there for me, 'cause it's my life and my journey, and no one can change my destiny. I'll be there for me. Oh yes, I'm bold. I've been told that this road is very cold. When will they stop debating that I'm the best in waiting? Still them underrating. Love to all the hating. Success nominating. Fact I am stating. My story I'm narrating. Yes, I'm elevating. left the best of them. I am who I said I am, differ from the rest of them, sir. Put your lighters up, put your lighters up, put your lighters up, put your lighters up.
Lagos, the center of excellence, the second most populous state in Nigeria, with over 12 million people and a territorial land area of 351,861 hectares. The state...
I beg, no stress us, we could get down to business.
Mainland 98.3 FM.
This is no imaginary world.
Where the rhythm of the city comes alive.
Mighty sexy, tell them hey. Electricity, I want a different PR. Till infinity, steady on a different beat.
Tune in for the latest news, entertainment, and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome our Industry Merit Award winner, the incomparable Patience Ōzōkō.
With our talented voices, keeping you in the know.
Wow. Are you ready for this?
And the winner
is... Introducing. Listen to the sound. Feel the sound. What the heck? Smell the sound. That's not bad.
Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
Let me say clearly here that your question captures the mood of the nation. Your question captures the sentiments. Your question captures the perception of the people due to what happened on September the 6th, 2023. And I say this advisedly. Maybe Mother Providence had its own predilection, permit my choice of word, when the judgment was fixed for the
Roundtable on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. My name is Saheed Fuhad. We're going to be talking politics and talking Nigeria.
As we march towards the general elections in 2023, the need to have a complete discourse on policies, political gladiators, and party politics have become imperative.
I think Nigerians should elect a person that has a little bit of every quality that's needed, because that next president of Nigeria is going to be someone who is
Alright, it's time for Political Roundtable Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Saheed Fuhad. This is the show where we look at the major issues in the political space. We look at governance, we look at politics, we look at everything affecting our lives when it comes to the democratic institutions that determine how we rule ourselves as a people. Today we have, I think we just have to focus on the issue of insecurity. I've looked through all of the trending issues. There have been talks about the economy, there have been talks about health, there have been talks about infrastructure, the forex crisis and every other thing. But I think every issue at this time comes secondary to the issue of insecurity affecting Nigeria at this time. And so that's going to be a major focus on the show today. We're going to be looking at the raging insecurity in different parts of the country. And of course, I think all through the week, we had almost a daily report of abductions, kidnappings. Our schools are under attack again. And it's quite unfortunate that, I think all of this started in 2014, exactly April 14, 2014, when the girls' secondary school in Chibok, Borno State, was attacked by Boko Haram militants, where over 200 students were kidnapped. As we speak today, one of the girls that was kidnapped from that particular school is still not rescued. We're talking about Sharibu. So all of this, started in 2014 precisely because that was actually at the height of the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeastern part of the country. But we have a long list of, we're going to go into that, of schools attacks, kidnappings, and all of that. Several of them since 2014. And I just thought that, look, with what we have been getting in the last few days, it's just important that we again make the issue of insecurity in the country our focus today on the show. So it's a very simple thing. Our focus on Political Roundtable today will be insecurity worsens in Nigeria as over 200 abducted, over 200 persons were abducted in Borno IDP camp by Boko Haram. That happened, I think, on Wednesday. And as we're still dealing with all of that, there was a report that again 278 pupils, students and their teachers were abducted in Kaduna State from their school. And then, of course, another one happened again yesterday. You know, there was tough talking. There was, we're going to do something. The governor of Kaduna State has been issuing statements. The president has also said the military should go after the criminals. And then bandits have also, now in Sokoto State, the fresh attack happened yesterday, and 15 students, our imageries, let's I don't know whether to call them students or children just wandering the street, were also abducted again in Sokoto State. So and in the middle of all of that, the first lady had to also lend her voice. Remember in 2014, a lot of skit makers are still using that soundbite up till today. It is well, you know, from there is God, from Patience Jonathan, the first lady at that time, you know, lamenting the kidnap of Chibok girls, and then some of the states, and only Waka come and all of that. So, but now we have the first lady, Mrs. Lady Remi Tinubu, Senator Lady Remi Tinubu, making a different statement, and now she has also added a voice to the call for something to be done, you know, about the level of insecurity in the country. And what she's saying is that bandits are criminals, they are cowards, and that this is the time to apply capital punishment, that they should be killed whenever they are arrested, and that our legislators should come up with a law that ensures that any bandit or criminal that is caught in the act is killed. And while she's making that statement, HURIWA is saying President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be bold enough to sack incompetent service chiefs. That look, so far, the service chiefs have shown that they are not as incompetent service chiefs. And added to that is the voice of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who has now said that, look, what we're seeing now is purely a failure of governance, and that something has to be done immediately, urgently, to stem the tide, lest we descend into complete anarchy. So that will be our focus on the show today, Political Roundtable, Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Saheed Fuhad. We have Nurudeen Adegbenro in the studio with us. We have Barrister Kurtis Adigba in the studio, and we also have Joseph Folorunsho in the studio. It's a complete full house today. The roundtable is complete. But again, I want us to douse the tension a bit. So we're not going to go straight into this issue of insecurity. We have two issues. One of them, human interest. The other one, a bit of political back and forth between two politicians at this time. We have Governor Sumila and the Senate President, Senator Dᴏɪᴛ, having an exchange of words, indirect exchange of words at the funeral of you know, the unfortunate incident of Albert Wigwe, the wife and the son. They were buried over the weekend, and in Rivers State, the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, had a statement to make, and there was a response from Senator Dᴏɪᴛ. Very interesting, and I think we should just use that, because again, going into insecurity issues, it comes with a lot of emotions, and I think we should not approach that discussion that way. We should just bring it down a bit, have a decent conversation, and hopefully we'll have a conversation that will be more about profiling solutions than dwelling on the problem. But like I said, the first issue, okay, let me welcome you to the show. Mr. Kurtis Adigba, it's nice to have you in the studio this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, okay. Nurudeen Adegbenro, nice to have you in the studio this evening.
Good evening.
All right, Joseph Folorunsho, nice to have you in the studio.
Well, good evening.
Okay, I'm sure you'll be surprised by my first story. But I decided that you were going to approach the show this evening that way. Because again, during the week, we had one of our regular callers that broke down in tears, discussing this issue of insecurity, abduction of these school children, and that got us on the show completely emotional. You know, he just broke down in tears while, you know, speaking to that particular issue. I think we should just tone it down a bit and enjoy the show, and then of course serious issue, but in a very relaxed atmosphere. Now the first issue, and this is a bit funny, but I think it's something we can talk about. And this is a young man. He's just 27 years, and he's saying that I'll be satisfied with 35 children. That's a Benue man who has just married 3 wives on the same day.
It's okay. I have 3 wives already. All he needs to do is to make them give him 10 first.
Okay, 26-year-old man. His name is Tasu Aodona. Aodona. Okay, I hope I got it correctly. Who married 3 women on January 31, just in January 2024. As told the Punch newspaper, there was a special interview to him. Why he has decided to do that, and he said he's looking at 35 children in all. He married 3 women on the same day, and what he said is that they asked him, what motivated you to marry 3 wives on the same day? And what he said is that, look, he's a farmer from Jato Aka Kwande local government area of Benue State, and he said, my main focus is rice, yam and cassava cultivation. I'm the man who married 3 wives on January 31, 2024. It has always been my plan to have multiple wives, stemming from my desire for many children and the need for help on my expansive farm. Before marrying them, I explained to each of the women that I needed their assistance on my farm, which is too large for me to manage alone. And they asked him, why me? What made you decide marry 3 wives on the same day? It's not about 3 wives, but to have done it on the same day. A 26-year-old man, he said, look, I chose to marry them on the same day because I noticed that it was challenging to marry another woman after being married to one already.
A big point. They're just going to do
already, David. But let's I said that, look, he had discussed with them, all of them agreed, and look, he discovered that, when you marry one, you want to bring in more, it's always a bit difficult. So he just bring everything at the same time, and he has a big farm. He's looking at 35 children and all of that. Because he's a Benue man, I'm going to start to buy.
very innovative. First and foremost, I think the guy lifted a page from the playbook of Ʞᴏᴛ, who married how many in one day?
Okay.
In one ceremony.
Yeah, one ceremony, yes.
One ceremony. And then number 2, you also have to go back to the traditional setting.
Yes.
I think that the young man is still operating in that setting.
Okay.
The major consideration for marrying women,
yes,
basically to give you children that can also assist you
on the farm.
Because there's this competition among them, And don't also forget that that's the only reason why they're the dominant tribe in Benue State.
Okay, this particular
the thief people.
Yes.
Marry so many wives and give birth to so many children. And
is it because they are farmers majorly?
Because they are farmers, and I think they also have the politics.
Okay.
At background.
The population. They want the population. Okay.
I mean, the more kids you have, the more people you have, the more power you continue to have in the state.
So the thinking of the man has to mind the 3 on the same day.
Yes.
You talked about financial considerations.
Yeah.
But he's also talking about the issue of women coming after one being a bit difficult,
I don't think nowadays that should be a problem for people, for most women. Don't forget in our cultural society, and I witnessed this myself.
Yes.
When my father was going to take a second wife.
Yes.
My mother was made to go with him.
To
go where he was going to marry as a first of all a show of support.
Okay.
And then 2, to show that
she's actually involved.
She's coming into an environment where she's welcome.
Okay.
You understand? So this was a traditional setting. I'm not too sure if the women were happy doing it.
But they did it, so anyways.
Value sometimes depends on location. Value can be geographical. Now, I mean, you see in some places where, I think it's in Peru or so, where at the beginning, at a certain point every year, they go and bring out their dead from the grave.
Yes.
And cook and celebrate.
Yes, I think they just bring them out, to dress them, dress them up again, and then take them back to the grave.
In a traditional society, it was like that at some point, that when a man who is already married wants to take a second or third wife. Now, when he's taking the second wife, the first wife at home is expected to go with him and offer her support. When he's taking the third one, the 2 women we go. I mean, I think even in Ghana, we saw it happen not too long ago. Yeah. And I think in Botswana, we saw a pastor marry 2 women. So this is about cultural setting. But Also, in my own part of Benue, which is the Idoma speaking part, you also find men who are married to more than 6-7 wives, but not on one day. They didn't contract the marriage one day. But it's also again to raise a family. And the other considerations, like somebody happens to be the only child of the parents. The parents will tell you, oh, when you die, and we die, that's the end of our tree, family tree. So he's encouraged to marry more wives and have more kids and preserve the name of the family.
Okay. So you think Nurudeen, you have anything to say about this?
Well, I think for me, because he's a farmer, what is important, after all, our president, when he was coming in, told you, even the military, that they will not have any problem, that so far food is available. And by the time we are mentioning the kind of crops that he has,
he said he's looking at rice, he's looking at cassava, corn, maize, and so you think the man is on point? He knows what he's doing.
I can feel them, but the
35.
Yes, but the area that I'm looking at is this. Like Bible will say, we don't live by bread alone. Does he considering?
Is he considering what?
He's considering the number of primary health center around. That those.
If he's a big farmer, maybe he knows how to sort himself out when it comes to.
Then another thing again is that, is he considering the economic challenges that we have? Even the farmers too, they are crying. It's not only other. So, but for me, according to the Constitution of Nigeria, he has not broken any law by marrying the 3 wives, by having 35 children, proposing to have 35 children. Yes. So he has not committed any offense. But what is important there is this: he should try. I pray God will continue to bless him, give him the strength and power. You should make sure that the problem of that particular family should not be a state problem and a national problem.
He should take care of himself.
He should take care of himself and take care of all those children that he's going to have, so that he will not be a problem to the state and also to the country.
Okay, well, this already wants to cause trouble. Allowed you.
A man cannot be a problem to the country or the state.
You know that.
Listen, the president, the guy is acting based on the promise of a globalized, supercharged economy that the president promised.
So he's thinking ahead.
Yes, thinking ahead.
Oh, okay.
So how can you say it will become a problem?
Okay. All right. So again, for people if they don't understand the way we do this job, if dog bites man, it's not news. Man bites dog becomes news. So in this age and time, where everybody is shouting for a man to marry 3 on the same day,
even some people want to marry half wife.
If this person doesn't even do anything on the same day, and 35 children. That's why
I love that guy, because one thing in life is, if you come to this world, express yourself.
Okay.
The man is just expressing what is in his heart, how you want to enjoy
his life.
World, his life. So what would you pray for the environment to be conducive for him to enjoy that kind? You know what it means for 3 wives at a blow, and he don't want the wife, he don't want the issue with the ones. Oh, this one cannot say I'm the first
or the second.
So all of you on your
coming at the same time.
On your pastor, the man is
what Joseph is trying to do.
Joseph is planning.
I hope Madam is not listening.
but again, it's interesting.
Yes.
You remember the day the Speaker of the House of Representatives was inaugurated? How he came there with 2 of his wives.
I wanted to say that, and it was going to be almost an embarrassing situation.
No, there's this other guy. That
was a senator.
There's one. No, as already he came with his wife. By number, say these are mine.
No, this was a senator.
Majority leader.
Yes.
Even apart from me, there was a senator in the last dispensation from Kebbi State that. He during the inauguration of the Senate,
he brought his wives. Yes,
he brought all the 4 wives, and he said, he mentioned the number. I
think maybe 28. And said more to come.
He still having more. That he has grandchildren that have 10 or 12 now.
And he said he's more to have. Well, anyway, so good luck to our young man who has decided to break.
And good luck to Benue people.
Well, he said he's a farmer.
So he shows that.
So, but let's leave the young man alone to his faith and calling. About Wigwe, that brilliant gentleman who has done great for himself and the country and for the business world, was interred on Saturday in Rivers State, and of course every other, big person in the country was at that event. All the governors were there, the business mogul, Aliko Dangote, but everyone was there really. When we say everyone, we mean, who is who in the country all attended that particular event. But, the one that caught everyone's attention really, well, apart from the conversations and all of that, was the issue of the back and forth between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and Senator Godswill Akpabio. And it's important that we talk on this particular thing because Fubara had what he was trying to say. There was a message he was trying to pass. And the response of Godswill Akpabio too is something that we should talk about, because we need to ask ourselves, if we try to ask ourselves, how do politicians think? What is running in the mind of the average politician in Nigeria? I think this particular soundbite we want to listen to could give us an idea of how the average politician in Nigeria thinks, or the way they even see death. Because basically what Fubara was asking was talking to their understanding of what death is and life generally. And Akpabio now explained to him the feeling of the average politician in Nigeria about things like death and life generally. So let's listen to that sound bite. I think it's about 6 or 7 minutes. The first voice will be that of the governor of Rivers State, Governor Siminalayi Fubara, and then the next voice will be that of the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio. Let's just listen to them. We'll right back.
I had this question that was going through my mind. What is life all about? Yesterday night, we sang a hymn, say fading away like a star in the morning. And I come to a conclusion that life is not the 1 million years that we live. But even if we spend an hour, let the hour be impactful. Here lies our brother, his wife, and the son. Everyone has come to celebrate them. It means even the short period that he lived an impactful life. He has made a great contribution to humanity. And that takes me to the next question, and this one has to do with our political class. What is all this struggle all about? You want to kill, you want to bury. What is it all about? This is a man. He's not a politician. He made his money through us, our investment. He has the world in his palm.
Growing up, I attended a burial ceremony of a 12-year-old boy. And the man of God, while preaching, said, in my language, which means that this death is so sweet, those who die in the Lord. One old man stood up and left and said, if the death was so sweet, why are you up to 50 and you are not dead? So some people joined the man and walked away. If anybody says yes, death is good and sweet, those who die in the Lord, it is in order to fulfill the Bible. But for those of us who are mortal, this death is very painful, and very painful indeed. We are not going to cry in one day alone. We will cry in so many days. When you look at the university, you will cry. When you pass through his personal house and edifice, you will cry. When you pass through any of the Access Bank branches worldwide, whether the one in Dubai or whether the one in Kenya or anywhere, you will cry. When you come across children that he touched, those that he sent to school, and the lives he touched, when they are talking about it and they mention his name, you will cry. When you even remember the father, his hair, Chisi, was already an iconic figure, a talented young man, highly educated, the best universities, prepared to take over the empire from the father, and yet he's no more, you will cry. When you think of the father, the wife could have been here to also mourn with us, that she joined him, then you will cry. Then you ask yourself, just like Governor Fubara said, what is the struggle all about? I will answer you. The struggle, we are not talking politics. In 2006, I wanted to be a deputy governor. So the then deputy governor invited me and told me that this office has no money. There is nothing in it. I don't know why you still insist on moving me from here and taking over. So a woman who went with me said, Your Excellency, then don't wait for impeachment. Just resign since there is nothing in it. And he stood up and he started punching the woman. And I told him, Your Excellency, don't punch her. She's telling the truth. There is nothing in the office. That's why I want it. Because you are too big for it. So, Your Excellency, Governor Fubara, if there is nothing in the struggle, don't struggle. But the soul of our icon, a South-South mentor, a man of excellence with his family, a great friend of the people, a man who smiles without compassion.
All right, that was the voice of the governor of Rivers State, Governor Siminalayi Fubara, and that of Senate President Senator Dᴏɪᴛ. Of course, Governor Fubara asking a very simple question, because he said that, look, why do we fight? Why do we kill ourselves? What is in life really? Why do we have all of these struggles? And there are people who thought that that was a message to the politicians who were seated there, and maybe to quote and unquote the people that are after his job, to know that, look, why are we fighting? I think during the week he had even said that, look, it's not too much for him to resign if that would bring peace to Rivers State. So I guess it was only buttressing that fact of the fact that, look, there's nothing to this life. If it requires that I resign for peace to come to Rivers State, I'm going to do that. And then Senator Dᴏɪᴛ, because that was not a question. That was not a question directed at Dᴏɪᴛ. I guess he just wanted to jump on it. Well, really.
If politicians don't play politics,
yes,
what do they do?
Okay.
Especially you're talking of professional politicians.
Yeah.
Who sees politics as business. In fact, the most lucrative business. So whatever will constitute or seemingly be seen as a challenge to what they have embraced as a way of life must provoke something in them. I thought that was an occasion that was too somber, an occasion that everybody should take
sober reflection,
take a look at their mortality and ask the same question that
Fubara was asking.
And I've asked myself the same question. Now we are 5 in this room, right? Everything we aspire to be, everything we aspire to acquire, that young man had it. But look at how he ended. Look at just how he ended up. Not only ending up as alone. I mean, if he had died alone, would have said, okay, at least his wife and children are there. Now he died with his wife and his first son. What a brutal, terrible fate, And I think that Akpabio clearly understood what Fubara was saying, but the politics in him did not allow him
to interpret properly,
to digest the point that Fubara was making. I think the point that Fubara was making is that for those of us who are professional politicians who think that until you have power, you cannot make money. This young man
made all of the money in the world.
He made all of the money just from business. Just like a former American president said, if you are rich in government, you are a thief. He said, if you want to make money, go start a business, not politics. And so for someone like Akpabio, it's a zero-sum game. You are in politics to make money, and that's what he said.
And so don't think about that.
Look at the story he told about him wanting to be a deputy governor.
I think we must first start with when he said we are not talking about politics here.
Yes,
and then the next is talking about politics.
And that's the more. See, so when somebody says to you, "This is not what we mean," and that's exactly what he meant.
Because he said we are not talking politics. So,
yes.
And then he said that when I was going to become deputy governor, I said that's politics.
And then he said, "Oh, that the woman told him."
In
other words, Fubara, if you think that you don't need politics to make money, you should also resign.
Yeah, you're joking.
Yeah, I mean, Fubara is not someone I like so much. I've said it there before, but I think I like certain things about him. The fact that he doesn't say this as do or die.
Do or die, yeah.
You understand?
I'm with you.
So, but I, for me, really, it was the occasion. It was the occasion.
For deep reflection, really.
I mean, that guy was his younger brother.
But we go
age,
yes.
About so I mean, every culture and tradition in this country. In fact, in certain places, a man like Akpabio will not be allowed to see the corpse of Wike before he's buried.
Wigwe, yes.
Wigwe before he's buried. So it's sad, but of course, if lions don't chase other animals for food, what would they do? Politicians will be politicians. You know, but it's so sad.
All right, Nurudeen, you listen to the two gentlemen, you know, Governor Fubara saying to Akpabio.
Well, I'm not surprised. The thinking of every politician, especially not all of them do, because Fubara has shown us that it's a kind of, I'm telling you, if I happens to be the governor of Rivers State today, with the buhaha that is happening in the political scene in that state, if I happen to be a governor, I will play my card differently from
the way Fubara
is playing it. Truly, and that is me. But he chose to play in a soft way,
gentleman way,
the way he talks and what he's trying to bring out. And one thing there is this, it shows the kind of personality
he is.
Both Akpabio and Fubara, you could see the personality. Akpabio have to divert it away from that. But no matter the case may be, everybody will still die. You are going to report all what you've done. If you like play politics in this life, you can't play politics in heaven. Play a time that you're supposed to be a time of reflection.
And sober reflection.
You are not going to pay me. I have said it. Anytime that a politician say good morning, go and share the sky.
Okay, Joseph.
I think to me, Akpabio is not. Is just an Akpabio. You know when
Akpabio is an Akpabio. Yes, he is what he is.
He is what he is. You know, during the time that we're thinking Nigeria is on emergency, we're talking of a text message into your. He
was joking about the
message and message for transport.
Then again, I think it was when I said let the people breathe. Let Nigeria. He was joking about it.
Even though the
so even at the point of death, right in front of him,
the way he is.
It was the same Akpabio that said Nigeria's economy is in trouble because the Buhari government overprinted money. You know, and when you look at these characters, Akpabio was high up there in Buhari's government.
Of course, yes.
Akpabio was minister. He resigned to contest for president. He was never on record one day saying
questioning what the president was doing.
Even the funny thing is that we have governors who shared all the money.
In the last administration,
in many cases looted the funds.
They are complaining now,
saying they overprinted money. Oh, yeah, Buhari killed the economy. Where were you guys
when this was happening?
As if you did not participate in the killing of that economy.
Barrister Kurtis, should you remember that in his own ministry, that is a minister.
Yeah.
The money that we are still finding, that Nigeria is still looking for.
Yeah.
In his own ministry, that we've not seen it.
The NDDC.
Just one agency under his own ministry.
But I thought that having three, a whole family.
You know why I gave this example?
Yes.
I gave this example because these guys are fond of outlandish and stupid things. You see, they are not even sensitive to the atmosphere on the environment.
This guy's father is alive.
This guy, his father is 90 years old and he collapsed.
Yes, the severity of the issue.
He had to be rushed to the hospital. Listen, even if it is your cow, the three of them were killed at once with blood running through your veins.
You feel sober.
The last thing that should cross your mind
is politics.
Politics. But you know what? Even the guys who were laughing and clapping hands
for him,
shocked me more.
Yeah, for what he was saying.
Yeah, for what he was saying. The sobriety of that situation,
yes, for me,
should have overtaken every consideration, and you expect that the humanity in all of us will bubble to the top
at that particular moment.
And even if he had a response which was going to be framed in political tone, he should have waited for another occasion, not that occasion.
And the relevance of the
unofficial spokesperson of Wike, as far as Rivers issue is concerned. He feeling that this guy is not supposed to be a boy to wiki.
No, it's not really Akpabio. Let me tell you this: all former political office holders who bulldoze
their way through
for their hand-picked successors believe that all of them should be kneeling down before them. They cannot appoint anybody into government unless they sanction such appointment. But the unfortunate thing is that when they were governors,
nobody was able to do that to them.
Nobody did that to them.
All right. Well, we just have to touch on that.
People that close to Akpabio should talk to him and say that you need to just
talk to him.
Moral conscience.
No, but again, I don't know. Maybe
there is no conscience for him to borrow. You see, listen, there are no consequences for political misbehavior
in Nigeria,
in this country. In fact, when you misbehave, you get rewarded with a higher office.
Get higher rank.
So that's
because I thought that, look, people say that, look, if there's nothing that can touch you, touch your emotions and touch your thinking and humanity, death should be able. Not even at the time where you have three people lying there, husband, wife, and his first son.
This is not the first time this has happened in the country, and I think the reason why this went viral is because of the personality
involved.
Herbert Wigwe himself. He touched so many lives. Short life, but very impactful. Don't forget that I think it was in 2015 or 2016 that the Ucholi SAN, who was Minister of State for Labour,
on his way, died in a motor accident. Yes,
two of them were buried same spot and the same day. May God never allow us to see this kind of tragedy anymore in this country.
I think the wreck of former wreck of Kanu after election. They will say fire incident.
I think we should move to more serious things and leave this.
But one thing there that I took away from that man's death, because I have to go and dig deep what he has done,
what he has been able to achieve.
I can tell you, and I can say it boldly, the man has imparted into more lives than any politician living.
Well, that's the story of Herbert
Wigwe. There are people who have, and of course I understand, especially if you are listening to what Bode George said. There are a lot of people who have written. Some have said, "Oh, this thing happened.
How did he make his money? Blah blah blah."
Abuse the system. Listen, death is not a punishment for bad choices.
Yes.
Because if it were so, good people would not die.
Yes, everybody would have to die, whether you are good or bad. Yes, so
the truth of the matter.
I know the sad part of the whole thing. Bad people don't even die easily. Now then they live long bad. Bad people in the community, they know they die.
Whatever he did, people are still doing it right now.
And they are still alive. And they might even live till 100. And for village, now bad man they live past. No go die.
For somebody paying the salaries of over how many youths? Over 1,000.
No.
Look at the former Emir of Kanu testimony.
No. It's a really.
What about the former vice president?
The former vice president.
3 hours on Thursday before he left for London.
It's unfortunate, really. Well, we wish the family well. We are hoping that somebody will be able to step in really and fill the void for the family at this time. It's a very sad one, but again, that soundbite just opens up our minds to the way our politicians think about life, about death, and of course the way they see some of these things. Now we'll go to the major issue for the evening. Political Roundtable Mainland 98.3 FM. We're looking at insecurity in the country, and we're going to be addressing these issues from a lot of recent happenings. I think from Wednesday, the kidnapping of over 200 persons in an IDP camp in Borno State, and less than 24 hours after that, students in Kaduna State, pupils actually, and the teachers, over 200 again, were abducted by bandits. The first one was by Boko Haram, and just yesterday again, in Sokoto State, not less than 15 Almajiris have also been abducted right there in Sokoto State, and it's now becoming a big issue. It has become a serious issue. It becomes so sad. Now, the reason we are focusing on this, I think before we even delve into the issue, it's important we look at the long list of abductions of students in Nigeria starting from 2014. Like I said at the start of the show, April 14, 2014, the girls' secondary school in Chibok was attacked by Boko Haram insurgents, and over 200 female students were abducted. The story is out there. We know what has happened ever since. Leah Sharibu is still out there. We don't know what's happening to her. The reports we're getting is that he's been married out to one of the extremists. She has had children, and God knows what is happening to the young girl. February 19, 2018, Dapchi school girls right there in Yobe State, where 110 students were also abducted by Islamic extremists. And then December 11, 2020, Kankara boys in Katsina State, where over 300 students were abducted from that same school. February 17, 2021, Government Science College, Shiro, that's in Niger State, where about 27 students were also abducted. And February 26, 2021, Government Girls Science Secondary School in Zamfara, in a place called Jangede in Zamfara State, where 317 students were also abducted. March 11, 2021, that's a school in Kaduna State. It's called College of Forestry in Afaka, Kaduna State. 39 students were abducted. April 20, 2021, Greenfield University, that's in Chikum LGA, Kaduna State. 20 students and staff of that university were abducted. May 30, 2021, Islamic school somewhere in Niger State. Over 100 students of that school, children actually, were abducted, and now we have reports of IDP camps being attacked by Boko Haram. Schools where pupils and teachers have been abducted, and we're asking ourselves, this has become completely ridiculous. Really, it's become embarrassing. And myself and Joseph Folorunsho quickly put a call through to Sheik Gumi before the show, because again, just 2 weeks ago we had him on Political Roundtable, and he said a whole lot of things, and now this abduction of school pupils and teachers are happening in Kaduna State. So we asked him, and the first question we asked him was, is this thing in Kaduna, what thing happen now? Even if you are going to pack 10 goats, it will not be so easy. How much when you are packing 200, 250, 278? And what he said was that, look, this is not a security issue, it's a social issue. And that guys that are doing these things are trying to pass a message. And how to end the conversation there with him. Mr. Kurtis Adigba, the First Lady has said that, look, we need to know the capital punishment. HURIWA is saying the service chiefs should be sacked. The president has ordered the service chiefs to go after the kidnappers as usual. The Kaduna State government is also issuing statements. We don't even know what is happening in Borno State to the people from the IDP camp. It's all looking confusing and messed up. How do we stem the tide? Something has to be done. We can't continue like this.
I think we first of all have to understand the issues before we start talking about stemming the tide. If you recall, security is a very difficult. See, the best way to deal with security is never to allow it happen
in the first place.
Once it happens, it's like cancer. It metastasizes, and then it takes different forms of criminality. Now, don't forget that before we had Boko Haram, we had Metiseni in different parts of the country, Kano and all that, and gradually this was building up. It wasn't until, of course, we have always had armed robbers in this country. We had insecurity.
A few issues of kidnapping here and there.
Which came with politics, was kidnapping. And of course, you recall that during the time of President Obasanjo, when the agitation in the Niger Delta started, some of the governors we later understood were involved in promoting kidnapping of foreigners, because it was the easiest way to move out big money. We paid to rescue these foreigners, and nobody's going to ask you any question as to why you paid what you paid, because we're just basically doing a humanity job. Now, and that again went on for a long time, and when the government moved in, I think when Yar'Adua came, he moved in, he granted amnesty. The
amnesty program, yes.
A little bit. And then we had the Boko Haram issue in Borno.
In Borno State, yes.
When their leader, I think Mohammed Yusuf,
was killed. Was arrested and killed, yes.
And so, since then, we've been having this thing. But when the Chibok thing happened, the government in power, then government of President Jonathan denied that it never happened. Because he just couldn't
phantom how that could have happened.
300 and
would be moved.
He just couldn't believe that You know, the failure.
I think it took him almost 48 hours to realize that it was a possibility.
Of course. I mean, and that was why the wife put up that show.
Yeah,
and he was saying, Principal, you can't come. First lady is calling you now, come and save your child. Come and save your child. And you are not here. You know, because they just didn't believe.
That could happen.
Do you know what it takes to take 300 students?
That was what Sheik Gumi told us. You know, he told us when we were talking to him just some few minutes ago. That it's not a joke.
It was well planned. They had the area covered. They had intelligence
to do that
about the movement of the military or the security agents. And you know, the flip side of that is the egregious failure of intelligence on the part of the government or the military or the security agencies. It's also the debt or lack of incentive. You know, because for people to literally, governments all over the world buy information. I'll give you an example. When after the invasion of Iraq and Saddam Hussein just disappeared, they were looking for him everywhere, they couldn't find him. Okay, his children were somewhere, and then the U.S. government announced a $5 million bounty for any information that leads to the capture or the killing of his sons and Saddam Hussein himself. Now, there's this man from Tikrit, from Saddam Hussein's village, that benefited so much from his government. These guys were in his house. He knew that they were in his house. And then, but he wanted to take the risk by not going forward, you know, by going to the inform the US authority. But as soon as that money came out, with the promise that his family will be relocated from Iraq
to the US
and be protected, the man quietly went to the people and said, look, these guys are in my house. Recently, the big kidnapper in Abuja who could not be found, as soon as the minister placed
a bounty on his head,
one of his lieutenants gave him up.
And
So this in other words, I'm saying that, you know, providing security is not about buying bombs.
AK-47.
You spend more money to infiltrate the group. I saw something recently. There was this group of bikers in America, violent bikers, killing people and all that. And then the FBI had to pay a guy to go join the gang. And so many times they doubted him. There was a day they took him to their leader. They almost killed him. He stood his ground. He said he was genuine and he was there to join the group. And then the man gave a nod and said, yeah, he's genuine. But that was the guy that uncovered everything that they were doing in that place. You pay for even al-Baghdadi. They paid.
Yes, the ISIS guy, Osama bin Laden,
You understand? Look, so we should go beyond just bombing and killing and shooting. General Petraeus was the one who told President Bush, he said, we are not going to kill our way out of Iraq. He said, this is an industrial scale insurgency.
You spend your way out of it.
Now, what we have now in the country now, because don't forget, you chronicled all the kidnappings.
Yeah.
And it's been going around the country. Now, the question one will be asking is that why did President Buhari's administration then said we had decapitated Boko Haram?
Technically defeated.
Because don't forget that when President Buhari took over power, before he took over power, you couldn't go to church or mosque in Abuja and the surrounding environment. I mean, I went for a wedding in Jos that time. I can't remember how many times I stood up to look around the environment. And you will find out that the exit seats are filled up because everybody wants to take off.
If anything happens.
Yes. We started finding soldiers in places of worship.
Yes.
And he fought. He moved the theater command to the areas that they were Muslim affected, and we saw some results. But whatever we thought we gained were frittered away by the emergence of bandits
in the northwest,
which is also like another group coming from the Boko Haram. Of course, like Sheik explained, you have Boko Haram being driven by religion. Boko Haram means Western lifestyle
is a crime. It's prohibited.
You know, going to school is prohibited. But then you have the bandits who are also claiming to be economic
agitators
advantage, that the government has been unfair to them in terms of economic power, in terms of politics and all that, and then they are taking their vengeance on ordinary people, not on the government. Because if you look at the people they are kidnapping,
ordinary people,
and why do they do so? They're doing so because it's now a source of money for them. Okay, so if they kidnap 300 students, you saw how protracted the negotiation over Chibok
was, yes.
And at a point, we heard that the government paid $50 million to some faceless people
to help negotiate.
And they disappeared with the money. You saw the other guy in Kaduna who was on his way and was arrested in Turkey or so.
In Cairo.
Yeah, in Cairo.
He's actually I think a PA or assistant to Sheik Gumi. Yeah.
So what is happening here is that you have religion playing a role and you have sheer criminality. Now, and it is beginning to look like the government is overwhelmed. Because you see, when you have a new government, don't forget that this president said his key priority with the economy and security.
And
others. Now, when you have, it doesn't look like, you see, it beginning to look like he's overwhelmed.
This early?
And I'll tell you why. Because it looks like the bandits and Boko Haram are testing
the microphone.
They're testing the strength.
His strength, and
they're trying to feel
his resolve, really.
It's resolve. And I know one of the things that I've been saying to myself is that this president, when he travels, and he has to travel, because when you get into power, you also have to reach out to other world leaders.
His global affirmation,
You can build that relationship and be able to attract foreign. So I have no problem with him traveling all the time. What I do have problem with is whether the national security advisor should be on that trip.
Should always be everywhere with him.
All the time, because he should be at home coordinating the security. When he needs to go with the president, like if he's taking a high level meeting that borders on security,
he should be there.
National security,
but not every issue.
But as soon as his own part is done, he returns to the country to coordinate the security. So what I think is happening here is that, and unfortunately it's difficult because we don't have the data. We don't have what he used to be before he took over, beyond what is reported in the press. So you find these men saying security is better now under President Tinubu.
How can that be?
Exactly.
This is 9 months, just 9 months in power.
So you hire an IGP of police, you hire a chief of army staff. There are no targets given to them. You know, when Lagbaja and his team came, unfortunately, it's the only one I know among all the service chiefs because I stopped paying attention. Now, you know, we were told, oh, this is an operational guy. This guy
is a man in the field.
Is the best that we can find. So far, what we are saying doesn't give us
that confidence, really.
That confidence.
And then the IGP too, he said he was a tiger. He feels like a tiger. He feels like a lion. He wants to go there and devour the criminals.
All that I've talked about are the problems. What then
do we do?
What then do we do? First of all, I think we must also recognize that even though all of us cannot carry guns and fight this war, well, we have a part to play. And that part is to, if you see anything that is out of place, inform the security agents. But then the downside of that, from what I have been told from the northern part of the country, I have a security man whose son was killed. And when he was telling me the story, he said his son went to inform the military. His son and his friend went to inform the military.
He gave information to the military.
You see, 괰ᴏ person, because you see, the Boko Haram operatives actually live in their communities.
They have sleeper cells within the communities.
They don't live in the bush. So the guy told them, see, this person, that person, they are members of Boko Haram. That night, the Boko Haram people visited them and said, you are the one telling the soldiers that were Boko Haram, right? And they slaughtered the two of them like animal. The father said they wanted to kill him for giving birth to a useless child. But some of them said no, the man had no hand in it. He didn't know what happened. That's why they left him. So even people who have information are scared because they don't know who to give the information. So what I think, we have gotten to a point now where the government should start investing more in information sourcing. If you can if you can buy information and protect your source, secure them. Maybe as soon as they give you that information that day,
you move them out of the place.
You know, until you carry out your, and then if government can create channels where this information can be carefully and reliably dumped without it getting into the wrong hands. You know, because you see, from what I am saying, even throwing money on the situation is not having any effect.
Yeah.
If you're spending money, huge budgets on security.
Military budget has been so high for the last 10 or so many years.
And the results is not commensurate.
No, it's not. So it means that we have to develop a new approach. And that is why I share a bit of Sheik Gumi's solution. Look, for 10 to 12 years, you've been throwing everything at
We're spending money, huge budgets.
And they are expanding. Okay? Now, in other parts of the country where you don't have bandits, because you have kidnappers.
Kidnappers, yes.
And these guys are known in their communities. You know, someone also talk about traditional rulers being brought into the security architecture. But again, don't forget that in some parts of the country, traditional rulers also have been found to be conniving with some of these kidnappers. And you know where the problem is? The problem is in the value system, where we just accept wealth and people displaying riches without asking them how
without
they
questions.
Just make the money. I mean, I see some videos of some parents rejecting cars worth 50 million from their children who are in school, university,
and they are celebrating it.
No,
rejecting. Okay.
I saw two where the parents rejected. Say you should take the car back to where you got it.
Where did you bring this from?
You know, and the guy said, "Mommy, you pray for me every night to be rich. Now I'm rich and you're complaining."
But you are in school. Where did you see the money?
And the woman said, "This is not the kind of riches I've been praying for you." But this is a society that depends too much on the externals. And then when you see people who are actually rich, super rich, they just do their things quietly. I was talking to my children recently about the wedding of a gospel musician, and I said, "Look, no matter how rich he may be,
one that went to Ghana,
yes, he shouldn't have spent that kind of money, because there's a difference between marriage and wedding. The wedding is a ceremony,
yes.
It's the foundation. You don't lay a foundation and pack it to the house.
And pack it to the house, yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And every young man now thinks that I have to do a wedding that looks like his. And I told my children, I said, listen, when Chelsea Clinton was going to marry,
yes,
former president of the United States, and the mother is senator, they came up with a long list of guests, including heads of state from all over the world. The girl said no. Said no. Look at George Bush, President Bush, the two girls. Did you hear about their wedding?
Nothing really.
Intimate family affairs.
And that's all.
Did you see the video last week in India?
The richest man in India?
Where the son of Ambali Mukesh,
yes,
Anant,
yes,
was wearing
a wristwatch, and I think Zuckerberg's wife.
No, Mark Zuckerberg and his
wife were shocked to see that kind of wristwatch on him.
And the woman was admiring the watch and said, maybe I should get one. And the husband said, no,
you can't. This one is too. Those are very rich people.
That's the world number richest, third or
fourth richest man. But he said, no, you can't buy this kind of wristwatch. You know.
Recently, Mark Zuckerberg himself was in Costco. You know, Costco is a big mall where people buy food and all that. And it was caught checking items, the televisions that the price had just been dropped.
Looking at the prices.
Yes, on sales. And somebody went and asked him and said, "Why are you looking at?" He said, "So you think I have money?"
I'll just be buying.
So the point I'm trying to make,
the value system too.
The value system, because you see, it's not just going to be about guns, bombs, and dropping on them. Because when you kill them, because there's no alternative. You know, if it's ideological, if they believe that if they hurt and kill others, they are going to heaven. Even if you kill them, it won't stop them.
It is okay.
Now, if it's economical, okay, if it's the source, if it's the only way they make money, you kidnap 100 school students, because these are students are high value targets. That's how they call them, because of the emotion that is attached to it. Yeah. You see how the parents will come, throw themselves on the ground and cry and all that.
And the attention will come, definitely.
Government will be forced to pay attention for them to be released. So they know.
Here's what I found on the web.
And this is why, the government needs to be up and doing. The government needs to try everything possible. Right now, if you ask citizens, they will tell you the government is not doing anything. Only those in government are saying the security situation is better now.
They can protect themselves. Why wouldn't they say that? Nurudeen, this is where we are. It's I have this, because of the kind of job we do, you try to aggregate the news, you follow the news, and it's almost on a daily basis. The reports keeps coming. The numbers are growing, and people are saying that 9 months of this presidency, they seem to be breaking all the records. Because if you look at what happened during Jonathan's time, look at all that happened during Buhari. Well, the height of it all was Buhari. Buhari came in, and for people who thought they technically did nothing, the results are here. If you look at the years of President Muhammadu Buhari, the numbers of schools attacked, kidnappings, abductions, and all of that, you agree with me that it was a terrible record to have. But there are people who are now saying that, look, if we now start to put the figures together for this government, you will see that they are also on a path that should worry anybody that is, focusing on what this government is doing when it comes to the issue of security. Remember that when the president came in at inauguration, the vice president said that, look, the president will focus on economy. I'm going to focus on the issue of security because I have the experience. We've dealt with these things before and all of that. But the results are not showing it, Nurudeen. How bad is the situation, and what can we quickly do? Because again, we are looking at short-term solutions and then long-term solutions. But in the short term, what can be done?
Well, it is so bad. Within 5 days, 493 persons, including children, the teachers,
women,
and mothers, sitting down gently in the IDP camps. The last time, early last year, that I visited Maiduguri through Nigeria Army, I visited that IDP camp, and the way for them to kidnap people in that IDP camp, I don't know how they did it. It was not in the bush.
That's that of Borno State.
Yes, now it's not in the bush now, and the level of high security
around the camp,
around that particular place, because majority there is no UN, all these
NGOs and all of them
that will not go to that IDP camps. That particular one, because you have a lot of women and children there.
So the NGOs work with them, the UN agencies and all of that.
A lot of Nigerian security. I don't know how they possibly. So one thing there is it's so bad. And if you go by the record, the way Buhari government outweighed what happened during Jonathan's government,
the numbers are frightening.
And
so
the one that we have started 9 months and we have this kind of numbers. We're not counting from May 29 last year till this period. We are just talking about the one within 5 days. And that's why we are counting 493.
Just in 1 week.
Within Wednesday. It's not up to 1 week.
Just 1 week, 5 days, yes.
So now, what it means is this. One of the problems we are still facing is this. At times when you have a disease or you have an ailment, the first thing is that you have to agree
that you have a problem.
But to this particular government and those people around it, they don't seem to believe that
there's a problem somewhere.
So, and that is one of the first headache that we are still having currently now. Then the second one is the way and attitude and what is coming from the security operatives, particularly the service chiefs, saying we have a breakthrough. We need this breakthrough. We have a breakthrough. So that is another thing. The best solution we have to, apart from the one that Kurtis has really said, one thing there is this: they should take it as a national problem. The kidnapping, Lagos, they kidnap people in Lagos. Remember the one of the carpenter guy, and the other ones that is not reported. Ogun State, in fact, they are collecting more, especially then Oyo State. All these Ogun. In fact, there was a particular woman that called us all the way from Oyo State that told us that even Yoruba person
is now involved.
That people know that he has been arrested many times and nothing has been done. So this is now, they should take it as a national problem, and because of national problem, they should earn the trust of the people so that people can give them information. Anybody that is in charge of NIA should be suspended. It is a high time. If you are being given job and you cannot do it, then you better leave and get somebody replaced.
Why I say we should, the president should look at sacking the service chiefs.
They should get the first thing they should get the trust of the people. That when people give information, their lives, the family
will be well protected.
Should be well protected, and they will earn that trust. That one is one. Then two is the issue of these security operatives that every state is coming out. You know, I told you that they won't be state police. I stick my neck. They won't be state police. What they are going to have is all the security operatives. These ones are they the one that is go and face all these people? This is a high time that presidents need to give a marching order. Not the one he has been given.
He has given so many. When something happens, the president has said,
you give timelines for marching order.
And you know,
you give timelines.
Part of the problem is like the military is acting like zombie. And why do I say so? Why does the president even needs to give a marching order
before you do
what is the responsibility?
Because again, you get the headline. President has given marching order to service chiefs. He has told them to run after the.
You know why they do all that? You see, everybody goes back to the president. We know he's number one authority in the country. That's not in question. Sometimes even when they are talking, saying normal things, in one sentence or two sentences, they will refer to the president more than 10 times.
Just to glamorize the whole statement.
Look, it doesn't mean if
he's the president and that can be changed.
Okay? So I don't even understand why the president has to give marching orders to the military before they do their job.
Even the marching order is not even marching
order.
In
other parts of the world.
You keep timeline. We need to, in 1 week, I want all those people that...
This is very common. Do you hear the president giving a marching order?
No, the people know what to do. Issue, you know,
I think there should be change of guard. I must confess. There's change of guard. This is not the same Nigerian army that we've known over the years.
But no, eventually there was...
the war front. Having people being kidnapped, change the person and you cannot do the work. They will move that person to another person, move another person.
And then you pay that new person 50,000.
We need God. Because God, no, this one does not concern God. He gave us okay. Those people that are spending money all around, and are they the one that is waiting for God to spend the money? Is God spending naira? If God had to spend money, is it our naira that is going to spend? Dollar is there, pounds is there.
All right, Joseph.
What is important there is that it is a high time that we need to seek some. How are they moving 287 students and there is no traces? I think the security operatives in Nigeria, especially the one that has to do with the army, whatever, they need to check themselves. There is enemy within.
All right, it's difficult to argue that particular statement really, because you know, Sheik was telling us, Joseph Folorunsho, that look, moving people around is not easy. It will require someone who is very intelligent. He said, he told us, so you know how politics, you know, even if you are going to move 10 cows, you walk. How much more humans that can resist you? It's not hey.
People who are frightened, scared, crying, shouting,
and they move like that. So how in other crimes you don't see security, you feel security. You know it is a checkpoints in cities of the world, but you commit a crime. In 5 minutes, somebody digs you out. But in reality, we are not committed to solving the problem. Joseph, what is missing really? Because I didn't grow up in a Nigeria where all of this was happening. But from 2014, look at the long list. I had to even omit some with small numbers. I just listed the big numbers.
But I told you, when you see crime, there's one line I give to us. Looking at the criminology, looking at the commission of the study of crime, the commission of 200 children, innocent children, kidnapped in a school in Nigeria, in Kaduna, move around the whole Nigeria. It's as if it's not a serious. You don't look at it as
we have moved on. Things are we just take it as if it's nothing. Even the body language of the people in government
just so it means that it's going to be part of all that. Oh, okay, let's plan again. These people, they will not do anything. You understand? How do we raise the money? Is it going to do through environment, or let's just pay them so that they release this? Now, aside that, the police themselves, if you are a member, if you are a personnel in police, if you don't know person that know person, you will be in one rank till the last day you are leaving.
So there's a structural problem.
Now, again, in terms of posting, if you don't know person, they will post you to maybe. I know one guy we're just discussing. Say say Joseph, no, we only pray that anytime God make me an ACP, you should not be a CP to maybe library or a CP to just some CP that are is just
CP for CP sake.
It's just CP sake. You understand? Let's not come to,
but it should just be about the job. Why should there be difference in CP or CP? What's it to doing their job?
Let's come to recruitment process.
People fight to the Minister of Petroleum.
And not minister for.
So let's not.
But they are ministers. They should be ministers.
No. Let's not come to.
So CP pass CP.
Let's not come to recruitment process. Let's come to recruitment process. If you don't know anybody, even though you come out the best in the exam, you will not be recruited as. Then if they now want to recruit you, maybe it is one or you are a candidate of Oba or Emir or one politician. That will not, your allegiance will be to that. If not because of this person that make me to be a member of police. So what I'm just saying is this: security. If we continue to play politics with security, we will continue to face. Just wait for the next coup that they are going to kidnap students again. Because if you look at America, we look at the security agency. They are on their own. They are detached.
They just do their job. Like Saheed said, nobody is telling them to do anything. They just do their job.
To the Metropolitan Police, the highest person there is a commissioner. Here we have a IGP, DIG, AIG, and all those. And at the end of the day, when the kidnapping in Abuja was high, what did the IGP do? That is reacting. He set up a SIS, a special whatever. And he said that he's going to make sure that my men, I spread them across the whole federation. The issue of kidnapping is a thing of the past. It's still issue of kidnapping is a thing of the past.
Which past?
It's not. Then the other one is this. Just like what Kurtis said, he said the president is giving marching order. Is the IGP is a comedian or a footballer? Did he need that marching order for you to? So the issue is that the security issue in Nigeria will only change if we are they'll be kidnapping 10 people every month. I give you 6 months. I don't want
drop the numbers.
Drop the number. It is not the one that. Then secondly, the way we cannot get it was is it not about 2 weeks ago, the Senate, because these are the people you pass vote of confidence
and look at what we are getting
very well. Or is Kaduna not in Nigeria?
Again, not
in Nigeria. Yeah.
Again, we're back to rewards for our politicians based on their output. See, this is a country where you fail, you get promoted.
Get the biggest reward.
Politics. In our schools, you fail, you repeat. But in our politics, you fail, you get rewarded with higher position. Don't forget Kane, who was the Republican candidate, said the fundamentals of the American economy were strong. If you remember, that cost him the election.
Yes.
Because the voters were listening and said, what the hell is this guy?
Are you saying?
We have an economy that is hemorrhaging job. Fannie Mae, almost all the big car manufacturing companies are going on there. And here you are saying because of politics, the fundamentals of the economy
is strong. For where?
Listen, the problem is, an Akpabio can come out and say security is better under this government. You know why? It travels with the
retinue of security aides. Well armed. I'm sure he has the DSS in his team. Yes.
Armored cars or vehicles.
He's well protected.
He's well protected. Every minister in this government and also in the last government, every governor, like I told you the story, how we went to the party secretariat shortly before the party convention.
Where half of Nigeria
13 governors of the party had to come there with over 400 mobile policemen. I'm telling you.
So they are well protected.
If you go to any government house, You have both soldiers, naval personnel,
DSS, everybody there protecting them.
Guys, it's a platoon on the
So how would they understand
or pay attention to this problem?
And then the other thing is their attitude, because since they are not encouraged, it's on Facebook and social media that somebody writes something in support of government, you hear comment like, "Oh, he's a patriot." There was a popular FBI, there's this FBI file where the activities of FBI in the past are recorded and shown to the world to see how they do. 2 men went on a rampage, killing people and stealing their identities to go and rob. The FBI have been looking for them. When they got a phone call from a woman that the 2 suspicious men were driving in a suspicious manner. The first people that got the calls, 2 of them, they started trailing these guys. They found out that they were the people they were looking for. Without waiting for backup, they engaged these guys in a shootout. Then other things joined them. At the end of the day, I saw and these criminals had killed about 3 FBI operatives, and they were about to pull out their car and go. This guy got up. He put his gun like this, and then he would struggle with his broken hand to shoot. Eventually, you know what? He moved towards them, and they didn't see him. He killed both of them in the car there. Now, they know that if they die in the process of fighting for their country and send him to the war front, when those who are not doing half of what he's doing
are getting millions,
and they're speaking grammar
and just faffing around doing nothing.
I found out something very interesting. Again, in other parts of the world, in other parts of the world, police people don't have barracks.
They live amongst the people.
You will buy a house where you can afford. How we went to the US in one place, basically a white community, and my son was walking around, was moving from our house to a friend's house, and because that was the first time they were seeing him in the neighborhood, they called the cops. Before we knew, 3 vehicles came and then started interrogating the young man, and he said, "Oh, we live just down the road here," and they brought him to the house, and I identified him as my son.
All right.
And they left. So this is the kind of thing we're talking about. When strange movements happen in a town, or
we're speaking information, intelligence gathering here.
Intelligence gathering, in those days we used to have CID.
Yes.
When something happens around,
even in every institution, they are there.
Even sometimes
they're
everywhere.
What we are having now is this: our agency need to go and learn intelligence from this criminal now. Because, for example, the Kaduna, that is perfect intelligent job. I believe those government have gone there, do
their surveillance and all that.
And then okay, at so time, this is what we are going to do. And at the end of the day, they do that job neatly. And today we are reacting.
The
whole system.
We talked about NDA. They even keep that from NDA. And Kaduna State is where all of the military structure is situated.
But Kajuri and Chiku, I don't know. Maybe those people living in those 2 local governments, they are not Nigerians.
Because again,
they have suffered in the hand of the kidnappers, in the hands of Boko Haram,
even bandits
on every level. And we know that these 2 local governments are very prone. Go and check from 2015 till date and see a local government that have lost people more than these 2 local governments. So what happened that our security operatives
cannot focus on those areas.
Focus majorly on this particular. Then another thing again that is very, very important, I think is now very, very important that even if it is for optics sake, if you are calling the service chiefs, have to roll. We have in Chiku, I know the police division there in Chiku, the area commander covering that particular area, the DPO of that particular station. Then don't forget that every local government had DSS office. Then have you even called the security operatives on those lines they will give out? Are they even as ours? Now they have an app that you can call. I'm talking about Nigeria.
No. When that app was launched, we talked about it. So
by the time we look,
I remember the Misaka said, if something happens, it's better for you to say "Gbamio" than go to that app.
that's why we know that
instead of you to go and lodge that app, just shout.
Divisional police office. You pity the police.
Yeah, of course, because
go to the division. You've never seen a DPO. You've never seen a DPO. The DPO
who is busy with, he is not available.
No, in fact, I know a DPO in a particular state that I will not mention. When he was being transferred from that place to another place, he used 3 ayas to park goats, to park tortoise, to park fowls. And I asked him, come, you as a DPO here for just 2 years, how did you get all this?
He's been busy farming.
You are farming.
No. Some of the structures we have in some of these places, you understand that we are not really serious. You see the police station, you see some of the police, some of them are just abandoned completely. Some of these places are really.
Now, let me tell you one funny thing. If you, I know Barrister will know. If you have something to do almost across the whole federation in a police station, whether at area commander division or even some of the headquarters, do you know that sometimes a petition against a criminal, you have to go to a business center close to that police station to do a petition? You have the address, you have the phone number, you have the name of a suspect that you tell me why you will succeed with that. And that business center can't do your you don't know whether it's related to the
person you are trying to
so which means that from beginning of all our crime we are not serious.
We are not serious
because the police itself have to have a way of, they want to do a petition, it should be coded everything within that environment. So we are not just serious.
Zone 2 in Lagos here, which covers Lagos.
Sometimes they don't get life for 3 hours.
No, go to that office. It's being renovated by some individuals.
Yes.
You go to even
Alagbo,
the headquarters of police. Anywhere you go in Lagos and in most part of the country, in fact, the generating systems, generators, what we call generators, are donated to them by individuals. Let me tell you my personal story. Some years ago, I had bought a plot of land in the Ikeja GRA from one guy. He took my money. And I started building. I got into lintel, bought some portion. But the big man came and said he would buy the whole acre.
He wants the whole thing to himself.
And the man offered him so much money he couldn't. But he didn't talk to us. He sold the land. And then one day one of his boys came to the site and said, my guy has sold this land though. And some people went to him. He gave them money and said the only person he's scared of is that lawyer, troublesome lawyer. So he never told me anything. I kept building, and I was told that the man came there. He never said anything to me. He never said anything to my worker. He didn't say they should stop. So one day I had to go to him and say, look, I heard you sold this land. He said, yes, I was going to talk to you. I said, okay, you know what? I don't want any problem. Just give me my money plus the investment. So he kept promising. Finally, he stopped picking my calls. So one day I went to the police headquarters in Ikeja to go and report the matter. When I got there, I saw a Hilux vehicle bought by the same man for the police.
You saw his name on it.
And the people that I spoke to say, okay, that man is our man, and he's a good man. Why can't people go and settle? So and you know, the guy was telling me, I will take you down. I had to call 2 editors of national newspapers.
And until the press got involved.
Sold the story to them. Then they called him. They were going to publish the next day. He started begging. By 4 p.m. that day, he brought my money.
So until the press got involved.
So the point I'm trying to make to you.
For them, help them fix their cars.
They buy their shoes.
So what are we talking about?
They buy their uniforms. If you go, they buy fuel every day to fuel the generators that people
in their office.
So what are we talking about?
Even the vehicle. I have done an investigative story of a baby factory that I want police to go and help me. After doing it for 2 weeks, I later succeeded. Okay, let me go and pack all these girls and their belly and whatever. I got to police station. I finished the job. They should just come and help me arrest me. I want them to Nativo. They now told me that there is not a vehicle at all. I said, but you people should have. They said they have 2. That one is with the DPO. that the other one is on patrol. I went to those people, they said there is no fuel. And now, okay, one of them now come here and said, okay, did you want to succeed in this job that you've been doing?
This is your report.
It's better that you give us money. Let's buy fuel. Then we now went to the Phillies. I said, how much did you want? They say 5,000. Take 5,000. You will not use this your wallet to spoil my job. We went there. When we were even carrying the guests, I told them, come. They have gari in the house. Let me carry gari. We carry gari. We carry pots. We carry the soup. And the reason one station now.
You see, there's no money for food there, and they bring money again to feed them. All right. Well, it's Political Roundtable, mainland 98.3 FM. I think we've been able to really touch on the issue of insecurity, and I think what I've gotten from my analyst is that look, we are not committed to solving this problem. We are not intentional about it. We have too much promises. We make a lot of talk. But when it comes to doing,
themselves at the back.
Yeah,
the results
and then the results are looking so bad. The results are so bad. You have people commending themselves. You know that's the way we live in denial. Joseph Folorunsho. Yes, when we started with Elijah Muhammad, technically defeated or not, and then now what do we have? So
breakthrough.
You know, breakthrough to where? So
you know, the other time is it IGP Adamu that the former president? Oh, see you are not having body.
No, that was Buhari that was telling that. I can see that. I can see that you are looking lean. So it means the job you are doing the serious job. Joking about a very serious matter. Well, that is the story of Nigeria. That is what we are dealing with. Widespread insecurity in different parts of the country, and the figures are not looking good. There are people who will say that, look, how would a foreign direct investor take us serious?
You know this story.
Because again, the story of the IDP camp was first reported by the BBC.
Let me tell you a story. I'm right now. I'm engaged in a battle with a colleague from Africa. They had a mini conference in Asia.
So they want it in Africa now.
So I proposed that we come to Nigeria. Now, most of the big guys said, no, Nigeria is not safe.
You just imagine.
That we should be going to Nairobi, Kenya. That's what we are fighting.
And you want them in Nigeria?
I want them in Nigeria. And these are my colleagues. And even though they are laughing with me, we are smiling. But deep down in their 3600410. It's Political Roundtable, mainland 98.3 FM. We have Nurudeen in the studio. Barrister Kurtis Adigba is in the studio, and Joseph going on. Everywhere looks unsafe, really. Even the so-called Lagos, where there's this celebration of there has not been armed robbery and all of that, but people are still reporting. You have boys knocking at your, so you see a lot of what is going on. They told you. You know what they said? You are lucky that it didn't happen to you. Just go your own way.
Just go. Hello? All right, so that's the focus. We're streaming the show live on Facebook. And of course, hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Yes, good evening. Yes, I can hear you. Please go on, sir. All right, 09136000410. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yes, Political Roundtable.
Good evening, sir. Yeah, I would say all the discussions today was perfect. But one thing I want to also to look about is on this discussion in Kaduna State.
Your name, sorry, where are you coming from? Your name.
From Mushin.
Okay, Kennedy from Mushin. Please go on.
Yeah. On the issue of insecurity and kidnapping in Kaduna, one thing I want to look at, are these people not complicit in committing this crime from this area? Next time, after morning session from the school, but something to the Pupils are taken away from that place. Daytime, all daytime, and nobody could be able to see them from that community. Something is fishing there. The people over there and all the people there, they are complicit. We should not put, although we try and do it, but all the same, we should pray that God will take out of all this mess in Nigeria.
Okay.
Have a lovely day.
All right. Thank you. Have a lovely day too. Kennedy from Mushi thinks that, moving people around like that, 200, 300, moving them out like that means that there's something wrong. internally within those communities. 09136000410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Gaffer. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Alam Salah.
Good evening, good evening, sir.
Yes.
Good evening, my bachelor. Therefore,
where are you calling from, Alan Salah, this evening?
I'm calling from Aladado.
Please go on.
You see, therefore, the situation we have in this country today, you don't know who is even the original police army. The uniform of our security men becomes very free. I can put it this way. Look at like Senator Yai. You know, to those guys who are arrested, he insisted that it's Nigerian army soldiers by Kibbe State. You understand? Now, if you are not not army, so the guys who are dressed in
army camouflage,
military, you understand?
Yes.
Now let me give you a story of Dᴏɪᴜ.
Yeah.
Dᴏɪᴜ girl.
Yes.
You know, I'm from Yobe.
Yobe State, yes.
Fortunately, my younger sister, the same mother, the same father. You understand? Her daughter was, when they called me that this is what happened. In fact, when I saw the flash of that news on my children, I called them. So when I traveled home, I sat her down. I said, Hafsa, do you know the other near Sheribu? She said, yes, you know the girl very well. I said, okay, tell me, her name is Hafsa. I said, tell me what happened. She said, that very day, sir, that very day, you are in the evening, you are in the school, you know, those children that were kidnapped, they are just walking around within the school premises, close to the gate. You understand?
I'm with you.
Some of them, they are far away, they are in the hostel. Those children were just close to the gate. Boko Haram that just came, they came in military uniform. They came in military uniform with their trucks. I mean, they're inside town. They don't know that.
I think they were there to rescue or help them.
Those people are taking their Boko Haram. You understand? Why? Because they dress in military uniform. You understand? You know, it's in Nigerian army, they don't live there, Sabi. But once you are in the north, if you are in Nigerian army, you are in the northern part of Nigeria, in the Meduguri or the Damaturu, as in JK, BS is allowed. So you cannot even differentiate who is the Boko Haram, who is this. So what I'm telling you is that,
because of time, yes.
What I'm saying is that to assess the uniform of our security men is very, very easy. So that also contributes to this crisis that we're having.
All right.
You don't know who is the original police, who is the fake police, or who is the original army, who is the fake.
Thank you, Malam Salah. Thank you. God bless you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. That was a good insight, really. You know how some of these guys operate.
I've heard of this before. That when they went to Chibok, they actually told them that they were taking them to protect.
And then they were actually taking them away. All right. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Yeah. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Your name, sir? Where are you calling from? Yes.
Good evening. My name is Walter from Chile. How are you?
Oh, Walter. Good evening, sir.
How are you? I'm good evening to your commentators too.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, well, my only question is we should all take if you remember the last time I called on the station, the radio station, I said there should be a deterrent to all this kidnapping, insurgent, and so on. And the deterrent should be captured. The president said he has a marching order. What's the marching order he gave? He direct the military cases, say, tell the soldiers, I don't want these people captured. If you need them one-on-one, eliminate them immediately. Bury them somewhere.
All right. Thank you so much, Walter.
Then again, the service
I'm actually struggling to hear Walter. Maybe we'll try and call back. Really, the line is so bad. But let's take some of the messages we have on Facebook. Then we'll come back to taking calls because I have a lot of messages to deal with here. I think the first message we have is from Bright Samuel, who is saying, I don't even think that Tinubu can stop insecurity in the north. A northern general was there for good 8 years. He only multiplied the insecurity in the north. The Yorubas formed a Moteku and protect their land. But okay, I don't like us bringing down the issue of ethnicity. Really, let's just speak to the issue. Rafiu Alabalakpe is saying insecurity will continue to worsen in the entire country until government listens to the ordinary voices who have been suggesting a well-befitting solution to the menace on ground. However, Community policing agitators are among the best people who have suggested that let's have state police and community policing to curb the menace on ground. But leaders fail to listen to the best suggestion. Look at those who are cleaner among the society where they carry out these actions. I think it's in support, a very long message. I think we should also try to be a bit brief with our message. Brevity is very important because of time. Let's just make it short and simple so that we can take all your messages. But thank you so much for the message. We have Fabare Bumi Osi Morale from Ikeja Cantonment. I salute you all, my gallant and lovely people in the house. How is your morale? I think it's just actually saying hello to us. Thank you so much, Osi Morale. We have Tunde Isaac should sound T. We're saying good evening, Mr. Fuhad and others. I travel a lot. It's so easy for kidnappers to operate in the northern part because whenever I travel to the northern part, I at least see the checking point of the police and soldiers. But in the southern and eastern part of the country, police and soldiers checking points are everywhere. As far as I'm concerned, security cannot end in the country if the government does not take it very serious. Whether it's from Tunde Isaac Sound T. We have this message from Ibilade Ambo. We're saying the Buhari administration has a lot of questions to answer on the state of insecurity in Nigeria. Insecurity is one of the reasons Nigerians trooped out to vote for him in 2015. Buhari should come out from wherever he is and tell us how the money spent during his administration to combat banditry and terrorism failed to achieve the desired result. They said they were technically defeated.
And he said if you worry him too much,
he will move to Nigeria. I told you, don't disturb him.
Don't disturb him.
All right, we have Michael Oreas who is saying everything in this world is vanity. Whether Nigerian politicians like it or not, one day they will all leave for eternity to give account. No one lives forever in this world. Well, they say they'll continue to fight until they die. That's what Fabio is saying. You just continue to fight. Don't bother with death for now. Then we have a Biladian box saying where our Tucano jets. Yes, there was a time that every time we talk about insecurity, it was Tucano jet. Where are the Tucano jets?
They just said that one for us.
Well, there was a time we were always talking about Tucano jets.
If you get Tucano like this,
everything is okay.
They'll just go to Boko Haram, just drop.
So it was just about Tucano, but we were not.
There is no Tucano
now. Presidential power personifies a political gimmick and a frostbite at the absence of doctors and rescue team. I was trying to understand what the message was about. We have Basil Chika, a long message. I try to take a part of it. He's saying, I believe I will not offend anyone if I may borrow this popular phrase that says anywhere security lasted for more than 24 hours, government knows about it. Food for thought, where in this country when we listed 400 names from Nigeria that is sponsoring terrorism and requested to be allowed to pick them up. Okay, this story about the list from the UAE is still out there.
And nothing has happened.
And nothing that has happened. Yeah, that's Chika Bende from Trade Fair, Lagos. We have Diode that we say, good evening, crew. I want to ask some critical questions. In your own company, will you give someone a job without interview, without certificate, to access the person, check his background, what he has done, to merit the post or position you want to give that person? That person you give the job without access to him or her will not be accountable to you. Give excuses for not finishing a job. Will corrupt people to have his way out. The company will take the company from production to the Jᴏɪᴏ. Okay, I was trying to put all of that together, but thank you so much, Dayo, for that message. We have Ogboja Elijah, we say Happy Mother's Day. Thank you so much. We have Unwundo Austin, we say good evening, Fuhad and Co. Honestly, I hate to contribute to the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. We are not ready to fight insecurity. We give lip service. We have who has been punished for being a terrorist in Nigeria. Has any terrorist been convicted, kidnappers? Can you try this in China? Well, we're not in China. Thailand, Malaysia, etc. and go scot-free. We are not serious yet. The terrorists arrested are de-radicalized and released back to the society, and you still want the military to go after them. What happened to those that were arrested before? Stop wasting your energy. Well, we have to continue to talk about these things. But thank you so much for that message. We have Olanyoju Kende Elijah. We say, good evening, sir. You are doing a great job. I was embarrassed yesterday when my lecturer here in Germany, I think he's listening all the way from Germany, asked me how is the kidnap case. I told him it's true. He was like, how is it possible to take away 200 students? I was really embarrassed as a Nigerian.
I was going to do a biopsy.
Okay.
In a hospital, Princeton Hospital. And the doctor who was going to do the biopsy Dr. Chan, he looked at me and said, "Listen, Kurtis, if I'm kidnapped in Nigeria, how much will my family pay to get me released?"
Just imagine.
So I looked at him. I said, "No, we don't kidnap Chinese." He said, what do you mean? I said, "They don't pay ransom."
They don't pay ransom.
He said, "No, I'm not Chinese. I'm Korean."
They look the same. Because again, this is I can imagine a student in Germany. Yeah.
Just believe that Nigeria is so unsafe. I have a Nigerian friend who came in from Florida wanting to sell his property in Lagos here. And I said to him, "Don't do it." He said, "No, I will sell." They say you can't even walk on the street of Lagos now. So this is the story. The narrative out there is that this country is so unsafe.
But again, when you keep getting these figures, you can't really blame people who have.
They move 280.
And that's what Ʞᴏʀᴇᴛ is saying, that here in Germany, his lecturer was asking, how do you move 200?
Even during the time of war, it's not possible.
Where do they keep them? Even though Sheik said majority of the land area
is ungoverned.
Is ungoverned. But where do they keep them? We have aircraft in the air moving around with sensors and picking movement. So where do they keep them?
And even what Malam Salau said, that okay, those guys came in military camouflage and they brought trucks telling people that Boko Haram is operating, come into the truck to move you. How did the truck move? I'm sure the truck must have moved for kilometers.
Of course.
So how did after picking the school pupils or students, what was the response? Was anybody after them?
That is the challenge. This kidnapping, the one I would never forget was the one that happened while the former president was visiting Katsina
State, right, in his home state.
Yes.
No, to pass the message that we are here.
In the Kankara schoolboys, I think. All right. We have Bosu James, who is saying, "May Lord help us make using of our internal and external assets." It's obvious. I don't really understand that message. We have Alungiadu Elijah, who is saying, "Nice program. Keep it up and tell them the truth." Well, let's see whether we can squeeze in one or two more calls before we call it a day on the show this evening. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. My name is Ken. I'm calling from Agbado.
Ken from Agbado. Go on, sir.
Yes. If Sheik Gumi said there are ungoverned spaces in the northern part of Nigeria,
yes,
why are they collecting government allocation monthly? What are they doing with that money in those local government areas? So if they are not governing those places, then they should refund the money, because those are the places that they are storing those children. Because it's very painful that 287 children now they are under under mosquitoes, reptiles, and other things that they have never experienced before. It is very painful.
Very painful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ken. I like your brevity. Yeah.
Let me ask him. If you are going from Lagos to Ibadan now,
you're using a lot of those bush.
So should the people in Ibadan return the money to?
I don't know, empty land just there, you know. And you know, Barrister Kurtis, you know, when I was in Turkey, and we say these things because people that do these things are not spirits; they are human beings. We traveled for more than 14 hours. There's no land that is empty. Something is happening on it.
Of course.
Is it that they are farming or there's a factory?
Those one that is making use of their water.
You know, so there's nowhere to hide. You see empty land, kilometers of empty land. You walk and everything, there's something happening. There's no empty space.
Their water, they are making use of it.
Can I tell you, that's the same thing that happens in Nigeria.
They're making use of the forest.
Or even what Sheik said. There is no, go and touch any land in Nigeria today.
Somebody will come on. But when it comes to security, nothing is an ungoverned space.
Yeah, it's not an ungoverned space.
All right. 09136000410. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. I can hear you.
Okay. My name is Abubakar. I'm calling from Ghana.
Okay, Abubakar. Please, you need to speak up a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Issue of this insecurity. Like the Rwanda, this 287 children that were kidnapped.
Yes.
This happened very close. It happened close to Benengwari.
Benengwari, yes.
And we have vast of forest here. So that place is a no-go area. That road, and this side of government, they are trying to build a forward operating base along that side. I don't know why they've not done that. But there is a big forest there, and it's set even up to the Niger Kaduna State. So until when that is done, until they can come back forest, I think this issue will keep hibernating that forest.
All right.
That's my take.
All right. Thank you so much, Abubakar. I guess we're talking about what we do with our open spaces. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening to you all in the
Good evening, Prince Wise.
Thank you. See, now, can it be possible for Mr. President to change the service by now? Or if the person in charge today, that is DSS, head of DSS, they are the one who do the job we are talking about right now. If somebody can pack more than 200 children at a go, and nobody knew about the situation, what is the work of DSS? So now Mr. President has to do something. Maybe the DSS man should go, or the plumber hand. And again, we are not talking about the entitlement of these people in the country. So I will say, their salary, allowances, to be taken care of, salary, cap allowances, comprehensive cover for their family, everything happen to them. And the minister always have meeting with the service chief. Also, the different factions at the workforce. Can they refer the junior officer to come and to ask them questions? I've been for you. As I'm talking to you as a father, it's a great voice for you today. I'm not feeling happy as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Prince. We'll take the last call for the evening and then we'll just call it a day. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, the last call for the evening. Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm Engineer Oladapo.
Okay, where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Pangu.
Okay, please go on, sir.
35.
We don't need full address, but it's okay. Well, go on, sir. Yes.
So, a caller spoke 10 minutes ago that the nation's security are not sincere. You see, in my own area of specialization, I'm managing about 14 states, all Shikun, Doma, Kujuru, going to Jos Road. You see everything that is happening there. You see some guys that they are not even in military, they are not police, they are not navy. You will see them with just ordinary handkerchief, military handkerchief. They just put it in their neck. You will just see some with just ordinary boots, maybe police boots. You will just see some inside their car. Are you a mobile police? Are you a Navy, Air Force, or police? Maybe he's just begging them from their father, remove the camouflage. Maybe his uncle is just an ordinary soldier. Remove the singlet. Maybe his uncle is just an Navy, just managing the scarf to put on. Then how can we know maybe it's a genuine military police officer or mobile police or Air Force or Navy? So in America, in China, in Japan, you can't see, because my father says people dressing anyhow. Why just put on cardigan or just put on socks, just put on this one to know that maybe it's just a friend or it's a genuine police. All this kind of something is causing distraction, confusion. So that is the area federal government has to take a serious action on it.
All right.
God bless Nigeria.
All right, God bless Nigeria. Thank you so much. That's the last call for the evening. Thank you so much, Mr. Oladapo from Palm Grove. Well, Barrister Kurtis, I think we've been able to do what we need to do this evening. But your final take on the show this evening?
Well, so long as crime, insurgency remains very rewarding, people will not be deterred from continuing on their path. And so far, we are not seeing so much effort from the side of the government. I mean, effort, of course, we know efforts are being made, but what are the results?
The results is what people are after, really. Yeah.
A friend and Jos, they were told to drop the money on a lonely road in the night, very late, and they complained about their own security too. Now what happened? And the kidnappers gave them instruction and say, you will see about 6 police stations, police checkpoints. When you get to any police checkpoint and you are asked, just mention my name, and they'll let you pass. That's exactly what happened. You pass through all those police checkpoints until they got to the place where they were instructed, and they met these guys, and they took the money, and the next day they released the guy. So you understand when people say, oh, these things cannot happen without
some conspiracy. Yeah.
But more importantly, I think that we need to give incentive to the guys who are in the forefront fighting. Okay, that those who are enjoying the system are also citizens like them. So I think that's the starting point.
All right, let's get our security operative well motivated. That's what Mr. Kurtis Adigba is saying. Thank you so much for being a part of the show this evening. Nurudeen, your final take. 30 seconds.
For me, I think the government should do whatever they want to do. All those women, they must make sure they got their release. How they want to do it, I don't even know. We don't talk to bandits, we don't talk to whatever. I should not even if they have to pay. All those children, all of them, and the women, innocent children, government must release them either by cook, by anything.
They must just be released. All right, thank you so much, Nurudeen Adegbenro, for your take this evening, and it's always a pleasure having you on the show. All right, Joseph Folorunsho, your final take. 30 seconds. We need to leave the studio.
If there's any crisis we observe through the trade union, we call a 괰ᴏʀᴇᴛ or the trade union to that's NSC 괰ᴏᴀ union to help us.
The seafood, yeah.
Or if hunger starts crisis, I don't know who the government is going to put a call to. So I want to appeal to all state governors, whatever you can do. This is not the time for you to be planning how to share palliative. Just share the go to the road and be sharing palliative for people
on the road.
Anyhow, people should just survive. And the last one is, please let us beg the number 3 citizen of Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Senator 괰ᴏ.
Make a borrow conscience. I beg.
He has. He said he has.
All right. Help me beg Joseph not to impeach the deputy governor.
All right. This is our collected Politics Roundtable Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Saheed Fuhad. We'll do this again next week.